Okay, so what we're going to do here is replace the master cylinder. This happens to be a 70 Chevy. It's got power disc brakes on the front. What happens here is my pedal's going right to the floor, and I don't understand why, because this is only 2 years old, so it's out of warranty, but it's only got 3,000 miles on it. I have no idea what's going on. This thing whole came with a kit. So what happened is I just bought an individual master cylinder, and we're just going to replace that. Okay, I put this cover because I don't want to scratch the paint. Also, you have to remember, brake fluid is very unforgiving. You're going to lose your paint if you spill it on the car. Okay, so what I want to do at the very beginning here, before I take this off, is I'm going to loosen these lines because it just makes it easier for me to do it before. Oh, yeah, see, they're nice and easy. They haven't been on here for 40 some years. So there's two bolts holding the master cylinder to the power booster. Okay, that's two bolts. Put a couple rags there. And there's the other. So we'll just slowly lift that off. Get myself another rag here. And that's all that's required to take it off. Okay, so here's the new one, here's the old one. So I took snap these off. With a screwdriver. Make it real easy. But anyway, when I look at it, here's the old one. The insides are exactly the same. So what I'm really looking for is right here, take off the plug, and I got the two where the brake lines go. This other one, the older one, had plugs on the other side because it's more of a universal. This one is not the standard Chevrolet, but this is the Corvette model. And the reason why I bought the Corvette model because it matches what came with the kit. So this way, it's all about the same. Alright, so what we're going to do now is we're going to bench bleed it. So we have to take it over to the bench. Now that we know this, everything is exactly the same. So we know it works. Alright, so now I'm going to put this on a bench and go through the procedure of bench bleeding it. Okay, here I got the master cylinder on the vise. Tighten this up so I don't have a problem. Okay, then I have the two bleed ears right here, and they just go one in one side and one in the other. See, it's just got a little pointed piece of rubber. So we will stick that right there in. Well, maybe we'll do this first. Okay, so one on either side. Clip it to the center. Maybe stick it down a little bit. Alright, so we got fluid in there, we got the hoses here. Let me stay down. Okay, so we'll start with that setup. Now what we need to do is get yourself a screwdriver or something where you can push in and actually work the brake. And you'll see it's bubbling a little bit. Nice and easy all the way down. Okay, so just go slow. What we have to do is get rid of all those bubbles in the lines. And we're just going to keep on doing this nice and easy. Go all the way to the end, come all the way back until you see no more air in the lines. And make sure these tubes are in the fluid so it doesn't suck up air. Okay, so we can see that as we do this, there's less and less air in the lines. See, there's just a little bit here. So we're almost done, but be patient, take your time. Okay, so now it looks like we have no more air. So I would call this a successful bench bleeding operation. See, perfect. No more air. Okay, so we're basically done with this. Now what I'm going to do is take these lines off. Okay, so I'm just going to put these little caps on here. Okay. Alright, now I'm just going to wipe this off and I'm going to transfer this over to the car. Okay, so what we're going to do here, I just want to put this cover on, because when I put this on I don't have to worry about if it shakes or whatever and it leaks. Okay, so first thing I'm going to do is just get it on there and I'll start. Just put the bolts on, hand tight, just so it sort of holds it in place. Alright, now I'm going to come on this side over here and I'm just going to take this cap off and I'll put this line right on here. Okay. Don't strip these, whatever you do. Make sure they start by hand. And that's why we didn't bolt it on there really tight, so we have flexibility to move all this around. Okay, now let's do the front one. Stuff up, even though it's plastic. Okay, remember, they sell a different type tool. It's to fit over the top of these nuts, but since I don't do it that often, I don't have one. Okay, with the lines almost tight, and then I'll tighten the master cylinder power booster. Okay, that's one side. Spin it up real tight. Okay, so there the master cylinder is on there. Let me wipe all this stuff off. Now I'm going to open the cover. And check my fluid level. Okay, so we need more fluid in. I'm just going to put some in right now. This one is the back side, and this one will be for the front. That should be enough because the reservoir is so big. Alright, so that takes care of that. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to wait just a little bit, let some of this fluid seep down, and then I am going to bleed the brakes. So when I'm bleeding the brakes, I'm going to start from the far rear, farthest away. So that'll be the rear on the passenger side, the rear on the driver's side, the front on the passenger side, and the last one will be this one right here. So I'm going to go through that real quick. So what I'm going to do is pump the brakes and hold them really tight, and pump them again a couple more times. Then I'll start with bleeding the rear brake on the back side, and then come all the way through. And then after that, we'll come back and check the fluid level, and then we'll see how much fluid went out, and we'll just replenish it, and we will be done. So there. So that's the basic installation. Remember, brake fluid eats paint, so be very, very careful. Okay, this one is the passenger side rear. Okay, pump the brakes. Yeah. Okay, now hold it down. Gotta get my hand on here while holding the camera. Okay. So see the fluid coming out? Fluid's coming out steady, no air. Okay, so now I'm going to tighten it back up. Okay, I'm tightening it back up. Okay, you can let it go. Yep. Now I'm going to go to the other side. Okay, alright, now you're pumping the brakes. Now hold the brakes down, so I'm going to open up the bleeder. Okay, I'm going to open it up. See, it's solid fluid coming out, so that means there's no air. So that's this one. So this is driver side rear. Okay, here's the bleeder screw on the driver's passenger side front. Okay, now he's pumping the brakes. Hold the brakes all the way down. Okay, so see constant fluid? Okay, that means there's no air. So just tighten that back up. Okay, so that takes care of passenger side front. Okay, now we're going to do the driver side front. Now you don't have to take the tire off, but I did just to make it so for this movie so you can see it real easy. Okay, now pump the brakes. Okay, now hold the brake down. And here, see, constant fluid, no air bubbles. So now, you know, it's all the wheels are bled. And we started from way in the back, passenger, then we went to the back, drivers, front, passenger, front, drivers. Now that takes care of the bleeding for the whole system. Okay, now we went through and bled everybody. Let's do one more check. Okay, so the only thing you gotta do is add a little more fluid. So I'll just add a little more fluid to the back one, a little bit more to the front, and that's it. That's all you have to do. Then close these up, and your job is done. Okay, after we're all done with this, I'm just going to put the cap on, the cover on rather, tighten it up. And also, since it came with these plugs, see it's leaking out, I am just going to put these plugs back in. And the reason I'm doing that is just to be nice. I'll put this in the bag here. And then when I put it in a box and return it, it won't leak all over and make the guy who I brought it from a big mess in his return section.